Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. In today's video, we're going to be doing a reaction. It might not be very exciting. I haven't watched it yet. I don't know what's up. All I know is that the title said, dumbest way people actually died. That's sad. I'm curious. Let's find out together.
Here are 10 of some of the dumbest ways people have died. Number 10. Grenade selfie. There are certain things you're supposed to know not to mess with, and potentially dangerous explosives, well, they're one of those things. Two men were traveling in Russia when they came across a live grenade. In this case, it was a grenade that just so happened to have the pin pulled out, which for those of you who don't know, that means the grenade is armed and could very easily explode.
Yes.
Obviously, the reason it wasn't already detonated was a fault in the system, which you might think means it was okay to pick up.
What? Okay? You run! You run when you see such a thing. It's a grenade! No way.
It's true. That made it even more dangerous. The two men didn't know that and decided it would be a great idea to pick up the grenade and then take a selfie with it. As you might expect, they didn't survive the experience. In fact, the grenade blew up mid-photo shoot. But rather ironically, while the men died, the phone somehow survived, and thus was used as evidence to show how the two men died. Usually that would be the end of this dumb cause of death, but here's the twist.
Yeah, it's really...
This was just one case of selfies gone wrong to the extreme degree, because Russia had a slew of them that prompted the government to issue warnings about taking selfies with dangerous objects.
Who would want to take a selfie with a grenade? With a grenade when the safety pin is out? Who wants to do that? Who does that? Guys, this is crazy. Until the government has to issue something to say people shouldn't do that anymore. I don't understand. I don't get it at all. Well, let's just keep watching. Let's see what's next.
Selfie could cost you your life, the Interior Minister warned in a new leaflet packed with tips, such as a selfie with a weapon kills. Yeah, it's true. A slew of Russian people were taking pictures with loaded weapons and other munitions because they thought it would make a great shot. And it turns out they were wrong. Very, very wrong. Number 9. Michael Goodwin. The case of Michael Goodwin is one of many layers. He was originally slated to be put to death, but then a change in his sentencing came in and he was given the punishment of life in prison. A change of good fortune, or at least it should have been. Living in his cell was fine, until one day he realized that the TV he had in it, due to good behavior, wasn't working. He examined it and eventually realized there was a bad wire. After taking stock of the situation and his own skill set, Goodwin felt the best option was to cut the wire with his teeth. And this was dumb on many levels, not the least of which was that due to it being a live wire, it was literally full of electricity, and thus he was electrocuted. But technically that's not the end of the story, because there was a chance that the electrocution from the live wire wouldn't have killed him. But the repair work he was doing, he did via a metal toilet. So that amped up the power of the jolt that killed him. Ironically enough, though, Goodwin was supposed to be electrocuted before his change in sentence. His stupidity changed it back to the original verdict.
Wow.
And now for number 8. But first, be sure to subscribe and let me know which one you think is the dumbest in the comments below. Number 8. How not to get away with bee murder. In 2002, a farmer in Brazil was going about his property and realized that there was a massive beehive there waiting for him. Bees can be very dangerous and potentially deadly depending on the species and a person's reaction to their painful stings. So thus caution was needed, and he did just that to an extent. To get rid of the bees, the man realized he needed to protect himself from the stings and then use fire to get rid of the hive, which in this case was a good two-part plan, more or less. He went and prepared to burn the bees away, but his idea of protecting himself was putting a plastic bag over his head and sealing it tight. And if you're already seeing the problem with this, then you'd be much smarter than this man. Not the least of which is a plastic bag wouldn't stop bee stings. But it gets worse, because he forgot about having to breathe. He didn't put holes in the bag so oxygen could get through, and thus he found himself suffocated by the tree where the bees were still very much alive. Number 7, backwards thinking. Driving is dangerous no matter what people like to think. There are many accidents on the roads of the world every single day, and things can happen when you don't think things through. Even an act as simple as parking. A certain 58-year-old woman from Australia, for example, forgot something rather important one day, to put her car in park, and it cost her big. So how did this happen? First and foremost, the reason she stopped the car on the way to the grocery store is because she wondered if she'd remembered the plastic bags in the trunk. Those plastic bags she used a lot thanks to a recycling mindset. So she responsibly pulled over, got out of the car, and checked the trunk. But this was the fatal mistake, because when she was doing this act, the car, which was not in park, started to roll backwards right when she was behind it.
Oh my goodness.
And running her over. And
Oh my
moving her tire.
goodness.
Not the way she expected the day would go, no doubt. Number 6, game over. There are many people who think that video games can have rather addictive properties, to the extent that some gamers will play the games they love for many hours on end. Now, there are parts of that that can be very true, but usually these are very dedicated gamers and not the normal set. However, in South Korea, video gaming is a lifestyle, as one man named Lee tried not just to do, but to embody. During one session with the game StarCraft, he decided to play for 50 hours straight, without eating, without sleeping, without taking care of his body in general. The only breaks he took were to go to the bathroom when he really couldn't hold it anymore. If you can see the problem with this, then you know where this is going, because after playing for those 50 hours and not taking care of his body, he died. Doctors cite that it was a mix of heart failure and exhaustion that caused his sudden death, both of which could have been easily prevented if he just went and did very basic things like sleep for even a few hours and get something to eat in the course of 10 to 15 minutes after every few hours. So thus he died trying to live a lifestyle that was literally unobtainable. A lesson for all of us for sure. Number 5, lava lamp bomb.
Are you kidding me? Are people for real? Like, people? No, gaming is good. I love gaming. I'm a game fan. But for someone to go to that extent, like that extreme for games, guys, that no. Let's be realistic here. How is that even possible? How do you do that to yourself? Not shower, not feed yourself? That's ridiculous. That's totally way out of line. You know, people are getting more and more involved in gaming, and the world of gaming is growing. And this should go as a lesson to youths out there. Like, okay, come on, you can game, yeah. It's something you do for fun, yeah. Some people make money out of it, yeah. But don't go extreme, and it goes with everything else. You know, don't take it too far. It's good to dare, but don't take it too far. There's always a limit to everything, guys. Like, this is ridiculous. Well, let's see how far this goes, because I'm just in shock right now. I don't know how to deal with these emotions I'm feeling right now, but it's just too much.
Should I call you a therapist?
Oh, please, that's so much.
Hello, Dr. Yeah, she's ready. Thank you.
Thank you for making me laugh. Laughter really helps. You know, I was really tensed, and you know, it's disturbing to see people go this far with their health and play around with things that matter with their lives.
These guys consider these things as rituals these days.
It's crazy. It's totally crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, guys. I'd like that very much.
There are many ways to decorate rooms, but one that is very popular with people is lava lamps. That being said, there are rules to follow when first getting them and heating them up. Mainly do it slowly or else. Enter Philip, who did not want to follow this rule at all, because he wanted to see his lava lamp in full flow. Being impatient, he decided to put the lamp on the stove and use its heat to make the lava lamp go. And it should be noted that doing this is in direct contradiction to the warnings on the label of the item.
Exactly.
After a little while, the lamp exploded from the pressure, and the shards of glass that were launched from the lamp went straight into Philip, killing him. This story was so pervasive that Mythbusters actually tested the circumstances, and they found it could be done in the right situation, though Philip did prove that himself, tragically enough. Number 4. Did you hear something? The notion of things coming out of the sky to kill you is not new. However, something you wouldn't expect to be killed by without noticing it is a helicopter coming down on you.
Huh?
Yet in British Columbia, a student in the area was indeed killed when a helicopter crashed into the ground and killed him. The obvious question that would need to be asked here is, why didn't he see or hear anything? The first answer is because he wasn't facing the correct direction apparently, which I guess makes sense. And the second part to that question is that the student had headphones on with the volume turned up real loud, which was later confirmed by an eyewitness. So thus, even when a massive piece of machinery was heading his way, he couldn't hear it. Thus, he got hit and died. The people in the helicopter died as well, and the whole incident was marked as very strange. Number 3, clean sweep. Past decades, mainly because modern advances in heating make them less useful, and they can be a bit of a pain to clean. And should you not clean them, you risk burning down your home. Enter Marco, who was a man with a chimney in his house. He started to clean his chimney in the basic way by using a broom, but he realized that it just wouldn't work. So he had a creative idea. Using a chain and a weight, he could have the broom go all the way through the chimney without much effort. All in all, kind of not a bad idea, but the weight aspect of this plan is where things got dumb, because he decided to use a grenade. But wait, there's more, because not only was he using a potentially explosive device to send down a chimney, he also felt he needed to make sure it didn't get off the chain he was tying it to, so he welded it on. Once the welding fire touched it, it exploded and Marco was killed. That's what happens when you really don't think plans like these through. Number 2, getting big air. For those who don't know, kite surfing is a respected endeavor in which people use kites that are like parachutes to skate across the water and sometimes get really big air. It's a complicated thing, but to those who know what they're doing, it can be quite the rush. However, the thing you must look out for is the massive wind currents, because they can literally spell your doom. And that's what happened to Adrian Monnoyer. During a particularly windy day, weather reports told surfers to stay off the oceans. But many, including Adrian, refused, and thus went kite surfing. As Adrian was doing this, he got caught up in a gale of wind that was 100 miles per hour. It was so strong that it literally lifted him up into the air and sent him inland, to which he would go and hit many buildings with his body, including a massive hotel. And then after finally being disconnected from his kite, he would fall to his death from 50 feet up. This bizarre death could have easily been avoided, but it wasn't because of the thrill of the sport. Number 1, stay in the vehicle. When you go on a safari, especially one that has various animals of incredible sizes, one of the most important rules is to not leave the vehicle at any point unless specifically told. And this is for people's safety as well as the safety of the animals. But for 2 elderly German tourists at a Spanish safari, they decided not to heed the many warnings that were put across the safari park and get out of the vehicle to go and enjoy the animals more. As if to prove the point, near immediately after they got into the car, a set of tigers pounced upon them and killed them both. The park didn't release too much information about the couple, but it was clear that they didn't obey the rules, and it literally cost them their lives. Thanks for watching. What did you think of these incredibly dumb deaths by people who honestly could have known better? Which of these deaths was the dumbest? Which ones do you think should have been prevented?
That goes a long way, guys, to make us or remind us of the importance of thinking every plan you have through. If you look closely at this video, you realize that many people just did not think it through, and that's why they died. It's sad they had to lose their lives, but if they were just a little careful and thought their plans through. Let me know in the comment section below, guys, what you think, and see you in the next video. I love you guys. Mwah.